Welcome back to Tarot by the Bay. I'm David. Okay. News today. A couple of things. We're seeing that polling numbers seem to be up for Harris over Trump. Again, the polls seem unreliable. That doesn't mean that this isn't good news. It's just... It's hard to put a lot of faith in the polls because it just seems like they haven't been accurately representing the feelings of Americans. Now, that being said, Kamala Harris having higher poll numbers is going to grind on Donald Trump because, crowd sizes and poll numbers and winning and all that sort of thing is kind of where Trump focuses his whole world on. And if Kamala Harris has higher numbers, that's going to put Trump and his campaign into kind of a panic, trying to figure out a way to change the narrative so his poll numbers are up. The other thing of interest is J.D. Vance, I guess, decided that he saw Air Force Two and decided he was going to storm over there and maybe have some words with Kamala Harris and Tim Walz, which I don't really quite understand. I mean, what are you going to do? You think the Secret Service is going to let you get that close to her or the airplane before they start intervening? What are you going to do? Just yell at her like a little dog through the window or through the fence? Hey, kick your butt and debate you, whatever. So performative. It's professional wrestling, a WWE type of mindset that's going on in the Trump camp. It's like Alina Habba going out and having her angry press conferences and just all the ridiculousness that goes around Trump. So I'm just going to do a couple general reads here. Let's look at the energy around Harris's poll, about this news reporting that Harris has higher poll numbers, and we can look at that. We can look how it's impacting Trump, and then, try and figure out what J.D. Vance, the boy wonder, is trying to do to impress Daddy. Entertainment purposes only. Let's be entertained here. Let's look at general energy around Kamala Harris and Tim Walz, and Harris's poll numbers reported to be higher. Again, entertainment purpose. The only foundation of the reading is the Knight of Wands. It is, I think, if we're talking about poll numbers, I think you're going to see a progression, an upward progression, as more and more people look at Harris's campaign as political team normal versus political team crazy, political team weird, which is the Trump campaign. Yeah, okay, so you've got movement going forward. It's planned, determined movement, crossed with the King of Pentacles. Donald Trump, in his... Basically, he pays for polling. He pays for polls to be done that give him the good news. And now, she's getting good news on polls that she doesn't pay for. That's got to bother him, What do I spend all of my money on these polls? Look at all these polls here. And I don't get good poll numbers. Underneath it all is the Four of Wands, which look like polls because they're holding up wreaths and things along those lines. It's the wedding card. It's the, opening day. Here we go. It's the Harris Walz campaign. And people are enthusiastic about it. What I would expect to see out of this, expect to see her poll numbers continue to improve and continue to see this impact Team Donald as they try to figure out what to do with it. In the past, we've got the Queen of Swords. Kamala Harris is Kamala Harris. I really do believe what you see is what you get with her, and she's just very matter of fact. And Tim Walz, as joyous as he can be, he also has a very matter-of-fact side to him. And this just could be, voters are tired of the drama. And here is a party, candidates for a party that are giving them hope for the future. Hope and joy and mirth. Remember, it's kind of like remembering how to laugh. Sometimes some of the best medicine for people is to see other people in their joy. Because when other people are in their joy, two things can happen. You can be really jealous and just admire yourself, but that's on you. Other people in their joy is like the tide lifting all boats. It throws off a lot of energy and it lightens your mood. Watch puppies or kittens playing with each other. It's transformative to watch it. Watching somebody lay down and get swarmed by a dozen golden retriever puppies. You know what I mean? It's hard to... they use that to treat depression. And I think it works. I'm ready for a puppy room some point. But, again, Kamala Harris and Tim Walz give people hope. Give hope for their future. And this is one of those things, asking about our polling numbers. Trump will be looking at polling numbers because, hey, how do I get my poll numbers back up? I've got my berry here and I've got the poll berry. How do I get that? And here's the thing. Kamala Harris and Tim Walz aren't purposely gunning for the polls. They're just doing what they're doing. And they will reap what they sow. They bring joy. They're going to get joy. People are going to be enthusiastic because this group, these two individuals, will, give them hope. Give them hope. Maybe it's not so bad after all. Maybe it's not all just illusions and delusions. Maybe there is actually some integrity, and that's now there's an adjective I would like to use to describe Harris and Walz is integrity. The Trump and the GOP are trying to take down their integrity. Kamala Harris really isn't black. Kamala Harris slept her way to the top. Tim Walz, he left the military before a deployment, abandoning his men. It's an attack on their integrity. But I think their integrity is so high, it's impeachable. It's impeachable. Which is why the attacks are falling flat. Calling Tim Walz Tampon Tim because he had tampon machines put in men's and women's bathrooms. Democrats are using it as a badge of honor. Again, it's funny. They're tone deaf when it comes to women with their insults. And... but it's all they know. Lesson to be learned is the 10 of coins, the money flowing in, the genetics, the DNA, the values. Looking at poll numbers here, I think, again, Kamala Harris's poll numbers are going up because they're giving hope, they're giving values. Do some work, you'll get some rewards out of it. Talking about, helping the working person get out from under the shackles that they are in. The elites may not be real happy with this. The outcome is the Three of Swords. Again, poll numbers are difficult to predict. And we don't know what's going on with the polls, why they don't seem to be accurate. It could very well be that you get new poll numbers showing Kamala Harris is down 3 points after next week or something along those lines. That's always a possibility. But here's something else what this could mean. As Harris's poll numbers go up, the elites are going to look at Donald Trump and say, hey, you know what? Just like Joe Biden, if your poll numbers aren't very good and we don't think you can win the election, it might be time for you to leave. Which now gives me something to throw on. That Three of Swords. That could be Kamala Harris and Tim Walz's numbers decreasing by the 3 points that she's up by now. She was virtual dead heat, maybe a little bit ahead. That 3 of Swords could be, the disappointment to Donald Trump that she's now 3 points ahead, and she's moving in an upward trajectory. That could cause panic. But that 4 of Wands card underneath there, and then the 3 of Swords and the 10 of Pentacles, that could be, wealthy donors, the same ones that put the pressure on politicos, that put the pressure on Biden to step down. The Democrats played a brilliant hand, and it put the Republicans on their heels, and they haven't been able to get off their heels for like 3 weeks now. It's just been all Harris all the time. Has it really been 3 weeks? I think it has been 3 weeks. Wow. Are the conservative oligarchs are they starting to pressure Republicans to get Trump to withdraw his candidacy? Now, mind you, they've already had the Republican National Convention. They named Trump as their candidate. There's only one person who can force Donald Trump to leave, and that's Donald Trump. And it's funny how pressure doesn't seem to work on him because he's petulant. But I want to look at the energy around removing Donald Trump as the Republican candidate. Is there a move afoot? Again, entertainment purposes only. Well, let's see. We start with the 4 of Wands. This is opening day. Come on in. The water's great. Or, hey, don't let the door hit you in the butt on the way out. I was literally explaining that last reading with this card underneath, saying, this could be the oligarchs trying to get him out. And here we go with the foundation of the reading being the 4 of Wands. I like where this is going. I'm trusting where this is going. I'm really trusting where this is going. There is a flipping of loyalties, a flipping of values, with the 2 of Coins crossing the welcome or get out card. They're looking at Trump's decline. Poll numbers are a measurement, a metric by which they can look at a candidate's probability of winning an election, and they're seeing a decline. And they put a lot of money behind Trump, and you want to back a winner so that when the winning team gets in the political office, they of course will owe you all sorts of favors. They may be starting to wonder if they're getting their money's worth. And underneath it all is the 6 of Swords. Trump's normal way of doing things, just rabble-rousing, isn't working. And I think there is a movement to get him to move on. J.D. Vance, certainly J.D. Vance, it could be one person on the ticket, it could be both on the ticket, that they're looking to move on. The Heritage Foundation absolutely wanted J.D. Vance on there to make sure that Project 2025 would be advanced. Trump doesn't advance anything when he's in office. He's just going to go on his revenge tour. So it would be up to J.D. Vance to be the lapdog for the Heritage Foundation. Excuse me. I'm sorry. I'll be coughing off and on. It's been coughing a little bit more today. In the past, we got the Page of Wands. It's the messaging about actions to be taken. The campaign is now in full swing, and Trump's on the decline. I think some folks, they might have been worried about this. Maybe not so worried with Biden, but they're very worried with Kamala Harris. They've been watching for this, and I think that they want to change. They might think it's time for Trump to go. Current situation is the Queen of Cups. These are hush-hush type of conversations happening now. They're not going to... The Queen of Cups, keeping a lid on your emotions, keeping things under wraps. They're not visibly panicking yet, but they're concerned. And they need to see some movement. Otherwise, there's this undercurrent of they don't think Trump can do this. That's kind of what's driving. That's the mood underneath it that nobody's seeing, is this distrust that Trump can actually make it and succeed in November. Overarching energy is the Two of Cups, the agreements, the contracts. Got a pair of twos here too. Right now, they're staying quiet, but they're also running out of time. Trump is he's the candidate, and that's who you agreed to. Here's the Trump lion with these folks agreeing to their candidate. That's the problem. I think they're having buyer's remorse. I think they thought it was fine when it was Biden, as they expected to be the candidate, but now it's Trump. Let's bring out the third two, shall we? They're at a crossroads. Lesson to be learned. They're at a crossroads. They're seeing a declining value. They're seeing their agreement that they've made, that they're having some remorse on, and now they've got to make a decision. What are you going to do? Outcome is the Queen of Pentacles. Finding practical use for things. Interesting outcome with that. This is a practical, again, this is a card of practicality. It's funny, when I think of the Republican, with anything with Donald Trump, it's always emotion. It's always emotion, always emotion. Always right brain stuff. But this card right here is about getting your money's worth. Finding the best value. And it's like, literally, normally, I don't think of Pentacles as being cold cards. They're earthy, It's kind of grounded. It's almost that Midwestern, what's the word I'm looking for here? Vibe isn't the right word, but sensibility. Midwestern sensibility that if you're not getting your money's worth, well, do something about it. I think some wealthy people might be making some phone calls, voicing their concerns. They're not ready to do anything yet, but they're running out of time if they are going to do something. So the J.D. Vance thing, it looks like it's going to, I'll probably do that as a different reading because why not? Okay, so we started this whole thing off with poll numbers. Saw a Four of Wands and had a follow-up saying, with poll numbers being down for Trump, are people looking to move him on? It looks like there's a movement afoot. There's some concern. I want to look at the energy around Trump with these poll numbers and this underlying energy where there seems to be some concern, dissatisfaction, or maybe wanting to move him on. What's the energy around Trump? This card kind of wants to pop up. I'll do a dual. I've been having fun with having dual signifiers. Makes the spread kind of interesting. I want to look at the energy of Donald Trump. Given all this that's going on, how is this impacting him? What's he doing with it? Okay, so we have the pop-up signifier, which is the Judgment card. The other signifier I would throw with it is the Six of Cups, the nostalgia. How interesting. So many ways to look at it. Okay, so, Trump, they're playing the horn, but playing the trumpet here, calling up their base. And then you've got naivety, nostalgia, cutting a deal. the thing with the Republicans is if you get rid of Trump, you don't get MAGA that goes with him. They're really in a pickle here. What's the challenge? Okay, so the reason why I'm pausing and sighing heavily is I'm trying to decide, just looking at these two cards, are they going to ask him to leave? And if they ask him to leave, is he going to try and cut a deal? A sweetheart deal? And if he does do that, would he do it? No, he wouldn't go on his revenge tour. He wouldn't go to prison either. But it seems like not like in Donald's personality. What's the cross? Yeah, 4 of Cups. Here's the problem. You have to make the deal so good that he takes it. And Donald, when he's sitting in a position of power in a deal, you can give him great deals. A good deal, a better deal, a great deal, and he won't care. This is the excellent deal. He doesn't care. Why? Because he controls everything. The Republican Party nominated Donald Trump. They're stuck with him. They're stuck with him. And he knows that. He knows they can't move him out. So if they're going to move him, they have to give him the deal of the century in order to get him to go. And then they're going to have to figure out, if they move him out, how do you keep his base activated so that you can actually win the battleground states, because you're not going to do it without that rabid group of voters that only support Donald Trump because he's the cult leader. In the past, you got the Ten of Swords. I think what this... And now this is bringing things to an end. External things bringing things to an end. Right now, we're seeing the Ten of Swords movement with Donald Trump. He peaked too soon with the debate over Biden, the media going after Biden and giving Trump passes on everything, to the shooter in Pennsylvania, to Biden stepping down. Everything was going Trump's way. But he peaked in mid-July. The election's the beginning of November. And since that mid-July peak, it's been all Kamala Harris all the time. And he can't get into the news cycle. And his popularity is declining. And if his popularity and his poll numbers decline, he's less and less likely to be reelected, which is going to cause people that want the Republicans to be in charge, because they're going to make a lot of money and abuse a lot of women, really upset, because they've been looking so forward to this. They want their hands made and tail, damn it, and they're going to get it, and they're not going to let Trump stand in the way. But here's the problem. They can't get Trump out of the way because he holds all the cards. You have to get him to volunteer to step down. That's going to be a lot of money. What was the question? The question was like, how is Trump handling this? Knight of Cups. He'll hear all offers. He'll ignore all of them too, but he will listen to all the offers. I can't even begin to imagine the sweetheart deal it would take to buy this guy out. Yep. Overarching energy is the devil. He's holding all the cards. Here's the underlying energy. He knows he doesn't have to leave. He holds all the power, and he's just an absolute bastard about it. He doesn't do things for the benefit of others. He only does things for the benefit of himself. If you're going to ask him to leave, oh lordy, there's a veritable shopping list of things that he wants before he would ever voluntarily step down. Same position. The lesson to be learned is the 10 of coins. Money talks. Everything else walks. They want Donald Trump out of there. They're going to have to buy him out. They're going to have to buy him out, and that's going to be an eye-watering check, to be sure. Do they want to write an eye-watering check? If Elon Musk might do something like that. Peter Thiel might do something like that, because if the Democrats get in charge and they do good things, the Republicans may not sniff power for a while, and this Project 2025 goes away, and your one best chance to get your utopia in there goes away too. Out comes the Two of Wands. Offers come in. Offers can be considered. He's not close. He's not even close to the Four of Wands leaving yet. He will consider the offers though. So, keep throwing money at him. Keep doing him favors. I cannot even begin to imagine what you could promise this guy to get him to no longer be the Republican national chair or the Republican nominee. He doesn't want to go to prison. Being elected president's the best way not to go to prison. So they are going to have to somehow provide him with an avenue where he won't be incarcerated. He will get all the money that he would have grifted as the president of the United States. You can't really get him the prestige of the presidency. And the only other thing you could do is like defund his enemies so that they don't get reelected or they get primaried and tossed out, so that he gets his redemption tour, but using other people's money and restricting the money going to those people so he can have his petty vindictive things. That may not be enough. In the end, a lot of money will do it. Maybe $10 billion. That might do it. Buy all his Truth Social stock. Unload that worthless, the stuff that's not even worth the paper it's printed on. But hey, you're a gazillionaire and you want to spend gazillions on Donald Trump, you knock yourself out. Get him some gold-plated Depends. Because real men wear diapers, apparently. Anyways, I've rambled on long enough. Thank you very much for watching this video and supporting my channel. I hope you found this reading insightful, and I'll catch you on the next one. Take care.